Welcome to the Backpack Family YouTube channel. I am Jonathan, and in today's episode, I'm heading out on a solo winter backpacking trip. I'll set up our new tent, I'll use our new cooking system, I'm going to shake down and test out new gear, and hopefully I won't freeze as the temperatures dip into the teens. All right, everybody, it's going to be a great episode. Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be a pretty awesome episode. I'm very excited to roll out some of these camping adventure videos. Now, today I'm solo. It's midweek. The theory here is that it's going to be a little less crowded. Plus, I've got a bunch of new gear to showcase for you, and I just want to give it a trial run before I start bringing the... What's that?
Do you have Catullus?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm going to get off the beaten path here pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, but thanks.
Well, how far are you going to go?
I'm probably going to go just a mile or so in. I got some new gear I want to test out before I really push it. Yeah.
So you're going to go out towards, like...
I think so. Yeah. I started to open up a little bit, get some good scenery and all that. Just one night.
Yeah. For you.
Yeah, thanks.
And the weather, I mean...
Well, you know, I'm taking advantage.
Winter camping, but for those who are prepared.
Yeah, I got a bunch of gear just to shake down and try out and all that. But it's amazing how slippery it is.
Oh, it's it's really, really.
Yeah. I'm gonna veer off the icy stuff and just see how far out I can get.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, just take some time. Yeah, will do. Thank you. One very cool thing about these trails is these are multi-use trails. So right now I'm just following a snow machine trail, and I'm kind of eyeballing different spots. It might be a good spot to set up a tent. There's definitely old man's beard, all this moss hanging down from these trees. A lot of potential to start a fire and cook out here that way. Oh, check this out. Huh, so cool. A little Christmas tree. Oh, that's great. So somebody on these trails, look at that. So cool. Yeah, it took the time to come out and decorate. Well, how lovely is that? Very cool. All right, well, I'm going to keep going. There's a lot of junctions where you can go right, straight, or left. I think what I'll do, I'll keep going straight off the main drag. But yeah, there's a lot of potential spots back here. We're almost getting out to the mountain range where I can see that more clearly. I can hear airplanes going. Here's the old man's beard I was just talking about up close. So all of this is just great fire starter. Yeah, and it's all over out here. It's amazing how the trail just opens up. So from that dense forest back there, now check it out, my first real views of the mountains, evergreens on both sides. Oh, this is a beautiful area. Somewhere around here is where I'm going to camp. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now in the summertime, this is all mosquito bog. So to come out here in the winter and be able to take advantage without any sort of bugs, it's the way to go. But check that out. Oh, it's great. There's definitely some moose tracks out here. These look fairly old, but I can imagine the moose right there. Imagine the moose like the trail just as much as anybody else. Much easier walking through here. Yeah, definitely icy out here. Last thing I want to do is take a spill. This got a lot of padding in the back. But yeah, you can see how boggy this would be in the summer for sure. You know, even though it is a bit warmer, this ground is completely frozen. You can just see I'm standing right on top of it. You know, definitely at least a foot or so deep. But yeah, such a weird weather pattern we're in right now. The fact that it's mid-December and this warm with this little snow. Yeah, quite incredible. I think I'm going to set, whoa, there, I just busted through right there. I think I am going to set up camp. Oh, now I'm busting through. But I'm thinking this spot might be pretty good for the night. Off the trail, just a little ways though. A couple of steps. When I check out this area, it's up a little higher than that boggy stuff right there. So I am a little higher, so I have a hunch this is all pretty dry. And if I look in the tree here, somebody was using this as like kind of a watch stand, probably for moose hunting, just all through here. Pretty great view of the mountains. Yeah, I think this is the spot for the night. All right, so first thing I want to do is get the shelter put up. So I'm gonna stomp down all this snow. Now, if I had snowshoes on, it would make this a lot faster, but the snow's just not that deep, and I didn't feel like that was justified to bring the snowshoes out here. So I'm gonna get to work stomping this down. All right, that'll do. Up next, gonna start popping up the tent. And we have a new tent. This is a 2-person tent, 4-season. I'm actually not sure if this is a surprise to you or not, but I have actually never set this tent up. So I did open it up and kind of take a look, but I never have actually set it up. So we're gonna do this together. Should be all good though. Fairly straightforward. I mean, there's no wind to speak of, so this is just a fantastic break in all the weather. Well, that's a beautiful tent. There's no doubt about that. All right, I got a few pieces of gear I want to talk about along the way and how I plan to utilize them, especially when I'm out here with the kids. So first thing is I have a closed cell sleeping pad. Now this I'm going to basically kneel on while I'm in and out of the tent so my pants don't start getting wet, although they got wet a little bit because I kind of forgot about getting this out. This is a Walmart brand sleeping pad. So this was about half the price of what they cost at REI because it's just a closed cell sleeping pad. I have an inflatable sleeping pad as well, but this is just a fail-proof sleeping pad. If my inflatable were to pop or anything like that, I would still have insulating R value, which is how they measure the warmth of maybe 1.5 or something like this. But either way, I'm going to use this primarily to kind of keep my pants dry as I get in and out of the tent. I do have my down jacket. I'm gonna hold off on that. I don't feel cold yet. You know, I'm starting to slow down now that the tent's up. I'll be less active, so at some point I will throw on the down jacket. I'm just gonna tuck it in the corner here so I can grab it easily. I got my mittens, my cook system, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. Got my food, that's dinner, breakfast, and snacks. Extra rain jacket, although the weather doesn't call for it at all. I just want to have this. This could also be an insulating jacket that I could put on over my down jacket. All right, this is my Nemo Tensor Extreme Edition, and it is a regular wide. I think it has an R value of something crazy like 8.5, so this will be an extremely warm sleeping pad. stuff like this is super losable, so I'm going to put it back in the stuff sack, and I'll pump this up here in a minute. I got a little camping chair, also from Walmart, very lightweight, and I will give this a try in a little bit, especially as I start cooking dinner. Got my slippers. All right, and then I've got my sleeping bag, a new sleeping bag. I did get 2 -40 Fahrenheit, also I believe Celsius, sleeping bags, because I do plan to get out there really even with the kids during kind of some much colder temperatures. So I wanted to be prepared. It might be overkill for the temperatures like this, but this will be my first night in this sleeping bag as well. All right, 2 liters of water, one of which is filled with my homemade electrolytes. I'll link to a video below if you're interested in making homemade electrolytes. There's no sweetener in this whatsoever. And it's so much cheaper than buying those little powdered packets, you know, from a lot of these vendors online. Just make it yourself, way cheaper. Can hardly even taste it. It's a good mix. All right, that's pretty much all the major gear for now. Let's get in the tent and get some of this stuff set up. All right, this is a great little system, an inflatable bag. So you just kind of clip it on. Just push the air in. All right, totally inflated, looking good. This should be a very comfortable sleep system. So the sleeping bag should be very comfortable, very warm. It is by Rab, and it's one of their expedition bags. I do believe it's their warmest bag at -40. Goose down, 850 fill. This is made in the UK, so very cool. I hadn't heard of Rab before, but they really have come online. At least in the last time I've been really exploring, but Rab's pretty huge right now. Nikwax hydroponic down. So this should be a very comfortable bag. You know, I've got this chair that I picked up. Again, the Walmart version of the much more expensive chairs. You know, this was $24 versus about $100. But I'm pretty comfortable just sitting on this Z-Rest. I might bust out the chair when it comes to dinner and enjoying, but I think right now I'm going to leave it bagged up. And I do want to start thinking about a snack and a hot drink. We did get a new cooking system. You've seen us use the jet boil, but I do plan on cooking like a nice dinner while I'm out here. So that involves a few new pieces. This is the MSR Win Burner 2.5 liter. I'm going to boil some water. I also have a frying pan to cook dinner, but I want to get some water heated up to make a hot beverage. I packed up some coffee and some tea. Coffees will be for the morning. But the tea, got a wild raspberry hibiscus tea. Should be quite delicious. I also brought a little milk for it too. All right, this kind of reminds me of the jet boil in the way that the flame is just concentrated. Let's see how fast I can boil water. I'm not normally a tea drinker, but I've been watching Abel do it, his last bunch of videos, and I thought, why not? Give the tea a go. This is Kelly's stash, by the way. I can see where on my list of gear to think about, some gaiters would be good, because I can see where my pants are getting wet just from like being across the snow like this. So I'm thinking some high gaiters would be something we definitely want to pick up, just so we're not getting our actual pant layer wet. I am starting to feel my fingertips getting cold, so it's time to put on my liners. There's somebody shooting. I barely had time to get the GoPro battery changed before this thing started boiling, so that's a very fast system. Absolutely, that's great. Ooh. I brought some milk as well. Seemed like the classy thing to do. If you're gonna drink tea, you know. There we go. Almost looks like a milk tea that you might drink in India. Oh, that almost has like a raspberry cream color though. It smells good. All right, just give that a few minutes. Ooh, that's better. All right, well, that's steeping. I did bring a little bit of snack. Got some hard salami slices and some pepper jack cheese. Let's make a little taco boat. Oh, you can see like that red color just coming right off that bag. Look at that. Almost like a raspberry milk. Man, this is great. Quite beautiful. I can't wait to do this with the kids. I mean, thinking about granite or cedar or forest out here with me would be, I think, just a lot of fun. And I think that gives them some experience that they need. I think it's important that they get some individual time with both Kelly and me. When you think about everything we've done for the last 9 years where we've been overseas and living in India, living in Dubai, and living in Indonesia for the last 4 years, and now we're back in Alaska. They've never really had that time where it's just been a trip with dad, a trip with mom. We've always been together as a family of 5, which I appreciate and value that. And we'll be doing that as well within these future videos. But again, giving them that opportunity to experience some adventure independent from their siblings, I think would be a good thing. Absolutely. A few people did talk to us, speaking of the guns ringing out, a few people did leave comments about guns and weapons and what do we carry in that nature. So right now I just have my pocket knife. I also have my canister of bear spray. So this is more for, I mean, at this time of the year, bear's not really a concern. Things like moose and all that more so. And we are talking about getting a gun, Kelly and I. We're talking with our friend Alan, who took us out to the glacier, and our friend Charlie, who we went ice fishing with for that spear pike experience. And there, I kind of lean on those guys really for my Alaska gurus. I look up to Alan for a very long time, and just meeting Charlie, he's kind of a to know him is to love him kind of guy. So I'm really pulling on their expertise on what kind of gun we should carry. It is a very common tool to have out here in the wilderness in Alaska. And that's the way we view it, really. It's just another piece of gear, another tool that'll help us continue to be outdoors. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. And if you have any thoughts on that, drop them in the comment. If you have any recommendations even, we're definitely all ears at this point. Just going to sit back and enjoy this hot tea. You know, for a Walmart chair, this is not bad at all. It's actually, that's fairly comfortable. I think I'm going to sit back for a little while, enjoy my tea, organize the tent, really just watch that sunset over there. And here in a little bit, oh, there's an eagle. Yeah, bald eagle flying over. Start thinking about dinner here in just a couple of hours. Time check, it's really only 3:30, so I've got a lot of time to just relax. Put my jacket on real quick, starting to cool down. It's just a very old Mountain Harbor jacket. I think I bought this like 15 years ago. Still holding up. I did bring a thermometer, so right now it is about 27 degrees. So it's definitely getting down there. And it's only 3:30 despite how dark it is. Yeah, oh, it's actually 3:50, so it's almost 4 o'clock. It's going to get dark here pretty soon. I do think I'm going to, finish my tea, finish my salami and cheese, but I think I'm going to probably chop up some wood. I'm surrounded by all this black spruce, and there's dead trees and down trees. That old man's beard. There's no reason why I couldn't get a little fire going right over here. So I'll just finish up the tea, salami and cheese, and then I'm going to start chopping some wood. I'm not sure how clear that's coming out in the GoPro, but somebody's definitely firing off some rounds. So I did get Kelly a Silky Big Boy saw. This was a gift for her. When she went down, if you recall, she had to fly down to the lower 48 because she had a death in the family. Kind of a close family friend died. And so as a welcome back present, the kids and I ran and got her this right here. So this will be a really nice kind of a break-in of this tool to get a little fire going. So looking forward, I think Kelly's looking forward to using this as well, but should be a nice piece of equipment to help us on these backpacking trips to get these fires going. I'm going to start with this guy right here. And I definitely want to collect as much of this old man's beard as I can. It just peels right off the tree, and this will be my fire starter for the night. I did bring some fire starter, but I'm going to try El Natural, see if I can get it done. But I think with this stuff, look at that. Yeah, I should be good. I'm just going to collect a big ball of this. All right, cleared the ground, left a little bit of a bank right there. Should be a good way to reflect some of that heat. Oh, the Outdoor Boys makes it look so easy. I am going to go get one of my little fire cubes. All right, there we go. That'll help get it kicked off. It is definitely time to start thinking about dinner. And I got a real treat tonight, kind of this as the kickoff into the backpacking winter adventure. I ended up grabbing a couple of thin cut ribeyes. This is Angus beef. And I got 2 of them thinking that it would cook a lot faster. being that they're thin cut instead of waiting on one big thick boy. So I'm going to grill up these ribeyes. Looking pretty good. I've got a salt, pepper, garlic powder little mix that I'll sprinkle on. And then, of course, I got some butter to fry it in. So I'm going to get started heating up the butter. And I'll throw on the steaks. Nice ribeye. Oh, yes. All right, a little salt, pepper, garlic powder. Ah, yeah, the things that I can do by myself, you know, cook up a big steak. Yes, indeed. There we go. Browning up a bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Brown so nicely. All right, I think we're looking pretty good here. Again, these thin cut steaks cook so quickly. Add a little of the juice. Some of the butter. And we'll immediately throw the second steak on. Perfect. See if I got it to a medium rare here. Oh, perfect. Just a bit pink on the inside. Looks great. All right, cheers, everybody. It's just right. Savory, salty, fatty. Cooked quite well for considering where we are. This is great. This is coming along quite nicely too. In fact, we're going to call that bad boy done. So Kelly and I, in terms of upcoming videos, are going to do sort of an end of the year video and review. Really talk a lot about the year we've experienced, everything from our last year teaching and living overseas to our road trip from Key West, Florida up to Dead Horse, Alaska, and then ultimately our life here. We're also going to talk about some of our 2025 plans, along with some international travel that we have coming up. So we are definitely looking forward to an exciting year of Alaska adventure and international travel. It's going to be pretty sweet. I totally hit the spot. So I'm going to spend a little time cleaning it up. Maybe I'll throw a few more logs on the fire. But let's do a little time check here. Okay, yeah, it is almost 7 o'clock. So, you know, slowly but surely I'll work my way into the tent. But those steaks, dynamite. So it is about 20 degrees on the spot. So I'll take a temperature check one more time outside, and then I want to move that thermometer inside to see how much warmer this tent will get with my body heat compared to the outside temperature. Time to kick off the boots here. And my toes are a little bit on the cold side. You're definitely going to be cold when I put them on in the morning, no doubt about it. Well, pretty good. I've got this kind of mesh netting in here, and I want to have some good ventilation so I don't get too much condensation in the tent tonight. So I'm just going to peel this down. Let's say to about there. Let's see, and then I can open up the outside vent as well. There we go. And that can just kind of hang, I suppose. All right. So it should be fairly adequate ventilation in here. I think I'm probably going to be too hot in this down jacket once I'm inside that sleeping bag. So I'm going to pop it off, but try to keep it in a handy spot. I do have some extra lights in here. Let's see if I can pick on the Christmas lights. Oh, not bad. Yeah, pretty good. All right. So we definitely have some good light in this tent. I think what I'll do now is, since I'm pretty much done with this super lightweight closed cell pad, is I'm going to stick it underneath my inflatable just to give it a little bit more protection from the ground. The ground's fairly level here, and I didn't see a lot of sticks or anything, but I wouldn't want anything to poke through, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this underneath now. Okay, now I've got a 2 sleeping pad system. Should be totally warm tonight. Ooh. I definitely feel off the ground. So I brought Taming the Beast Within by Mitch. Now, Mitch, you might remember from our Florida video, Mitch is Old Guy Carnivore on his YouTube channel handle. So check out Old Guy Carnivore if you're interested in anything like that. You might notice that I'm eating fairly high protein, so I'm just trying out a different way of eating. So I'm avoiding basically anything that's not a meat product at the moment, and so far so good. I'm enjoying it. But I met up with Mitch when I was in Florida, and he gave me this book that he wrote, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to give it. I finally have some time to read, so it should be great. Oh, by the way, Mitch is the same. I linked to the electrolytes, homemade electrolytes recipe. That's on Mitch's channel. So definitely give a little shout out to Mitch if you visit him over there. So I've really enjoyed a friendship with him over the past several months. But either way, I'm going to spend some time reading his book. I will say one thing about the cell phone. I have an iPhone 8, so it's super antique and old. The battery does not last very long at all, so I have to be very careful with the battery, or else I'd probably stream some sort of podcast or YouTube videos. So it's a nice excuse to do a little reading finally. But I think at some point, Kelly and I have talked about upgrading to newer iPhones. So one iPhone that's interesting to me is the iPhone 14 or newer, because those I do believe have satellite texting. Like right now I have the 1 bar, so I'm totally with signal. But it not too much further from here, and I'll be with no signal whatsoever. So I do want to make sure that when I take the kids out, we have some sort of way to communicate with some, like Alan, for example, or Kelly, of course, or Kelly to me. So we're talking about a Garmin InReach as a good satellite option. But also I do think it's probably time to upgrade the iPhones to something newer than the 8. Kelly's got the 11, so hers is newer than this one, but it's by no means anywhere near the battery life of like the 16, for example. But I think we'd be happy with something like the 14 or newer, just to be able to take advantage of the satellite options. All right, pretty snuggly. Yeah, gonna go ahead and start the book. Oh, check it out. Already have a bookmark. This is from the Sasquatch Museum in Georgia that Kelly and I took the kids to on our road trip. Oh, that place was awesome. They had a whole like Yeti, Nepal exhibit. But yeah, the Sasquatch Museum, that place is sweet. All right. So check out this opening paragraph. This is a book I'm definitely going to enjoy, right up my alley. It says, "It was the darkest moonless night I had ever experienced scuba diving at 3 a.m. off the coast of the Berry Islands in 1977. To this day, I don't know what awed me most, the unusual night sea creatures in the blackness below, or the vastness and brilliance of the coal-black sky above. I've never seen the heavens in such a way since. Billions of stars were visible. The Milky Way stretched as a cloud from horizon to horizon. On that calm, black, windless night, the reality of my small mortal insignificance was chilling." Yeah, that's a strong start. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely enjoy this book. All right, everyone, it's about 9 o'clock and it is just getting cold. It's about 18 degrees outside. In the tent here, it's ever so slightly warmer, about 22 degrees, call it. So a little warmer in here than outside. But I'm going to start hunkering down in this sleeping bag. I want to get my booties on because my feet are cold even in this sleeping bag. So these booties are the ones that Kelly and I got in Nepal. And you know, these are like North Face branded, although I doubt they're, seriously North Face. They're just kind of the knockoff stuff. But they've done a pretty good job keeping my feet warm, even though they're knockoff brand generics. So I'm gonna hope that these booties kind of help keep my feet insulated and warm. But yeah, it's a comfortable sleeping bag. It's a comfortable sleeping pad just from the reading I've been doing. But now I'm gonna hunker in with the intent that I'm going to sleep. And I've got my GoPro batteries in this bag. I'm gonna keep them in here. It'll be a real trip when like the kids are in here doing this with me. Okay, I'm in. All right, a little bit claustrophobic, but there's actually pretty good like arm room throughout this bag. But you can see it's super poofy, so I should be completely fine. My feet are totally fine now that I put those little slippers on. All right, everyone, see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It is just about 8 in the morning, and I had a pretty good night last night in this sleeping bag and tent. I did wake up a couple of times. I kind of rolled around a lot, but I slept fairly solid. When I did wake up, it's because I was too hot. I had to unzip the sleeping bag a couple of times just to let out my body heat. So I would say, yeah, definitely it can handle a lot colder temperatures than right now. It's 20 degrees in here. So yeah, this bag is definitely rated at -40, and I did wake up sweaty a couple of times. So it would be interesting to see when it gets colder how this bag will perform. But at above 0 Fahrenheit, yeah, it knocked it out of the park for sure. So one thing I'm glad I did, though, before I drifted off to sleep is I did bring the water bottles inside the tent. Now you can see it's kind of icy in there and almost totally froze up. But I tucked it inside my down jacket. Yeah, this one's definitely chunky. So I will be able to boil some water and get coffee going. That's really cold. I think if it would have been a lot colder, I would have had to have put these in the sleeping bag with me, maybe down by the footbed. I have seen people boil water and dump it into the Nalgene's just to keep it warmer. So I think I'll have to start considering something like that in the future. But at 20 degrees, had I left it in the vestibule, this would have been a rock, I'm sure. So the jacket did keep it a bit warmer, which is good. All right, I got to put on my frozen boots. That's not going to be fun. Oh, come on. They're like totally stiff. There we go. Ooh, look at that. Everything is frosty. That is for sure. Probably should not have left out my camp chair last night. This thing is totally frozen. All right, well, maybe as I start cooking breakfast, things will slowly start warming up, but probably not by much. First thing I'm gonna have to find out is how well this isobutane is gonna work in these temperatures. So outside, it is, oh geez, it's really cold. It is about 14 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I did sleep with my lighter in my pocket, so it should, yeah, there we go. Have no problem. If this had been out all night, I probably would not have been able to light it. There it goes. All right, seems like it's lit fine. I can see a little bit of sputter, but not too bad. Probably what I'll do is I'll add the boiling water into my cup. That way I can heat the cup. I'll then take that water that would have been cooled significantly by going into this frosty cup back and boil it, because at least I can prime the cup to get it hot so my coffee's not instantly cold. So I'll hold off on adding the coffee grounds until after the second time getting the water hot. I always want to be safe when it comes to conditions like this, especially with granite cedar forest. As long as we have the ability to communicate via cell signal or again that Garmin inReach, I feel fairly confident. There are a lot of places you can go in Alaska that you can get pretty remote pretty quick. So as long as we always have the ability to monitor the weather, communicate back home, yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly straightforward, safe environment. You know, as long as we have the ability to troubleshoot problems For example, if one of these guidelines were to break, although that would be very unlikely, but if they were, I want to make sure I know appropriate knots to think through any of these problems. Certainly, the weather on this trip is very mild, cold, but mild. No wind, no snow, no rain, as it would need to be warmer, but you get the idea. So yeah, nights like tonight, perfectly good way to shake down the gear. I've done it now. Kelly's gonna do a trip. She's gonna do her own kind of gear shakedown, get her feel for how she wants to do things. But in the end, yeah, I mean, the goal is to start rotating outdoors with the kids. I can see that it's steaming, so it's been, yeah, about a minute and a half. So it goes fast even with icy water. Okay. Oh yeah. So pour it into the cup. Just let that warm the cup for a minute. All right. It shouldn't be much colder. No. Nescafe, instant coffee. Anytime you travel through Southeast Asia, these will be in your hotels. We kind of made fun of it in the beginning when we first started drinking it because it was just like so like, oh, instant coffee tastes so bad. But now I've really grown to appreciate the instant coffee, especially on trips like this. I was looking online. I did see filters that you can actually pour like good coffee grounds into a little paper filter and it balance on the rim. We did see that a lot in Southeast Asia too. And so I found some on Amazon that looked to be the exact same product. So I'm going to probably order some of those. That way, even out here, we can drink good coffee. Oh, that's perfect. So I did mention Southeast Asia a couple of times in this video. That's because Kelly and I are actively booking our 2025 trips. And we are thinking about a spring trip where we would go maybe to one, possibly up to 3 countries in Southeast Asia. I don't want to reveal them just yet because it's not quite finalized with visas. But I do have a question for you guys. When we go, we're talking about going in between 3 to 4 weeks in time. And we'll probably try to stack enough Alaska content that we will be able to do that trip and post without there being any time off between videos, at least from your perspective. But my question is, if we come back from Southeast Asia and we have something like 30 videos recorded, let's say between 20 and 30, how would you like me to roll those out? Kelly and I have had the conversation like we could just roll them out 2 a week, but that then becomes 10 to 15 weeks of overseas travel. Or would you prefer, the other theory we talked about is we post rapid fire, like 1 video a day for a week and then maybe a couple of days off, then the next country, boom, boom, boom in a row. So they'll just come at you really fast. And then the Southeast Asia trip will maybe be about, call it 2 to 3 weeks in length. So just if you have an opinion on that, let me know. I might even fool around with the YouTube poll, but drop a comment, let me know. And if you have suggestions on countries that you'd like to see us visit this year in 2025, let me know. Yeah, we got some good ideas in mind. All right, just a little spin. I don't know, it is getting lighter out, but the GoPro notoriously terrible at low light. I can definitely see blue skies, can see some stars, and the mountains are out for sure, but you never can tell with the GoPro. All right, first thing is I got to get this butter melted and hot for that skillet. I've got about, call it 2 tablespoons. And the main dish for breakfast. All right, check it out. I got 4 eggs and about half a cup or so, maybe a little more, of bacon crumbles. This is the bacon crumbles from Costco. I figured it'd be a little faster and more convenient than cooking raw bacon out here. Now I wonder if my eggs are frozen. That would be certainly something that might change the menu a little. You know what I might do is I was gonna put the eggs in this bag and break it up and shake it and cook it like an omelet, but I might just cook them into the frying pan. That's probably what I'll do. Let's see about getting all this stuff prepped. All right, where'd my lighter go? In my pocket. There we go. That's easy enough. Yeah, I think this cook system is pretty good. I can see it's a little bit bigger, but that's because Kelly and I were thinking about taking the kids out here with us. So we need the ability to cook kind of more than just solo meals. It's a bit heavier, but it's, so far on this trip anyway, it's done a pretty good job. The only trick is you got to get the bottom of the pot to flip directly over that burner. Definitely has a hot spot in the middle. Seems like it's either fully... maybe go down just a little. It almost seems like it's either fully on or fully off, although there's just a little bit of a lower setting just before it totally kills the gas. All right, then you go to bacon crumbles. Definitely kind of a high-fat meal, so that'll keep me warm with energy as I break down camp and think about heading back to the car here. It's hard to believe what time it is. Let's check the time. So it's 9 o'clock now. Hard to believe it's still dark. Maybe I'll try the scrambled egg method. Let's see if this will work. I'll have to break it on the side of the pan. Oh, that's not gonna work. The egg is, it's not frozen, but it is definitely cold. All right, this may not work very well. Yeah, okay, any colder and I have a hunch those eggs would have been totally frozen. Yeah, that is just a gelatinous mess. Good thing is I've got extra Ziploc baggies to put all this in my backpack so nothing leaks. Okay. Well, looks pretty much what I thought it'd look like. Scrambled eggs in a bag. I did not think to bring any extra like salt or pepper or anything. I used the last of my salt, pepper, garlic powder on the steak. All right. Just throw the shells in here. Now, I only brought this plastic fork for mixing. I should have brought one of my latex spoons. Because this plastic will melt. Now it's not too hot, so that's good. Yeah, appears to be working pretty well. So I guess I'm pleasantly happy with how much warmer my body heat made that tent last night. So the fact that I was in the 20s and it's like, yeah, 14, maybe pushing 16 degrees outside here, that's great. And with more people in there, it'll be even warmer. If I was using the fresh bacon, I probably would not have used the butter, only because that would have produced so much bacon fat that would have been sufficient. But the crumbled bacon that you buy at Costco is already cooked, so it's the fat's already rendered, so you get very little actual grease in the pan when you use the bacon crumbles. All right, looks like a pretty solid serving of bacon and eggs. All right, I think I'll eat it just right out of the frying pan. No sense in re-dirtying up my plate from last night. Ooh, oh, that's great. Wow, very hot. That would probably be a fairly good serving for me and the kids to split. Maybe I'd throw in a 5th egg or 6th egg. All right, the pot is clean. Sit back, finish my coffee. It's definitely brighter now. GoPro's got to be able to pick that up, I'm sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's looking wonderful. But I'm gonna sit back, finish my coffee, and then start the pack up process. I want to get home and see everybody. All right, everybody, I am packed up, ready to head home and see Kelly and the kids. I think this camping trip did everything I set out for it to do. It gave me an opportunity to shake down the gear, kind of get an understanding of how it all works in a system, especially as we start taking out the kids. We're definitely looking forward to posting more Alaska winter camping videos. If you'd like to see more, drop a comment, share the video, and of course, you can always hit subscribe to support the channel. All right, everybody, see you in the next episode.